Hello and welcome back to CQ, the AWS Certification quiz show, where we're here to help you get prepared for your next AWS exam. So today we were looking at the SysOps Administrator exam using the official study guide from wiley.com, also available at amazon.com. So who do I have with me today? Rovan, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. Why don't you tell us a bit about what you do here at AWS?
Hey MJ, thanks for having me. So I'm one of the technical account managers based here in Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
I work with multiple customers to try to get them to adopt AWS technologies based on best practices. I'm mainly focused on FSI customers.
Which is?
Financial sector.
Perfect. Nice. So glad to have you here with me today. Why don't you tell me about your choice of where we are today, Rovan?
It seems that we're all the way to Egypt, somewhere in Giza, where we can see the pyramids. Egypt have about over 100 pyramids there, and these are the largest ones, or the biggest ones.
Nice. So this is representing your background, is it?
Are you trying to say I have an accent? That's a flu.
We both actually have the flu at the minute, everyone, so please bear with us. Great to have you here.
Yes. I was raised up in Egypt, and it's part of my culture. Yep.
It's awesome. It's great that we can represent that. So are you ready to have a bit of a look at the SysOps exam with me?
Absolutely.
This week,
Let's
Rovan?
go.
Cool, let's do it. So, question 1, high availability. Ready?
Yep.
Cool. You have a test version of a production application in an Amazon VPC. It is used in an Amazon RDS database. You now wish to move your production version of the application to AWS. The application owner is concerned about the availability of the database. How can you make Amazon RDS highly available?
Right, okay. So when I look into that question, there's obviously a couple of projects here. Amazon VPC, which is the virtual private cloud, which is your own network within AWS. Amazon RDS is database on AWS, and it comes with different engines like SQL, MySQL, Aurora.
Yep.
When you look into RDS highly available, to have any highly available database, you gotta have at least 2 databases. So looking into the first option, deploy RDS in one AZ and a read replica and another AZ. So you would deploy read replica if you have an application that read intensive. So you do that, you create a read replica. So probably that's not the best option for us.
Okay.
Deploy RDS in multi-AZ mode, that's probably sounds like the good option.
Okay.
Because RDS gives you the option to create an RDS within multi-AZ, or even if you have an RDS that's not multi-AZ, you can go and modify it to a multi-AZ. And what does it do is actually replicate all of the data from the master to the standby synchronously. And then the third option is using Amazon DynamoDB, which is another database by Amazon because it's a regional database. So as we're already using RDS, there's no point actually to shift to a different database. So, and RDS also multi-region, multi-AZ, so probably let's stick with RDS. It doesn't look like the right answer there. Deploy a read replica in another region. I would do that for a disaster recovery, or if I have users who are distributed around the world, so to have the database closer to them. So I guess number 2 is the right answer.
Locking in number 2. Quick check on the polls, and most people are agreeing with you, Rovan.
Great.
So we almost convinced everyone.
Yeah.
Number 2, it is. All right, great start. Feeling good?
Yep, good start, yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to
Getting
question
confident?
number 2. Oh, hello. Okay, we're monitoring.
All right.
Let's see how confident you are with this one. There are 10 Amazon EC2 instances running in multiple regions using an internal memory management tool to capture log files and send them to Amazon CloudWatch in US West 2. Additionally, you are using the AWS CLI to configure CloudWatch to use the same namespace and metrics in all regions. Which one of the following is true?
Right, okay.
Nice.
So, that's a long one.
It is. Just take a sip of my
That's
Panadol.
right, allowed. So Amazon CloudWatch is the monitoring tool by Amazon, and this is how you actually get metric from different services, like EC2, for example. And I guess part of the question here, or a key part, is that the EC2 sending the logs to US West too. Obviously, CloudWatch is a regional service and it works within a region, but then if we're going to send all of the metric to EC2 West, it will still going to receive it. So go through the options that we
let's have a look.
So CloudWatch will receive and aggregate the data based on the namespace and metrics. So that seems to be right for me, because it's going to receive.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's going to receive the data regardless. It's not into a specific order or anything. So what do you do in this case? When you have an application, the distributed application and high scale applications that you need to send metric from different hosts that serve this application or a web server, you probably will configure a namespace for all of them.
Okay.
And they will be sending the metric using this namespace to CloudWatch. And CloudWatch will see it as one metric. It's not going to say, it's different hosts and stuff like that. And then it will tell you, for example, if we have a metric on latency. So it will show the minimum, the maximum, maybe the average of the latency from these hosts. So I guess number one looks good. Let's see.
Let's
number
check the
two.
others though.
Yeah.
Always a good practice to make sure you read all the answers, right?
That's right. Yes. So CloudWatch will process the data only for the servers that respond first and ignore the rest of the region. That's not usually the case, because it will actually receive the logs from all of the hosts.
Yep.
And then if you're using the namespace, it will not going to differentiate between them.
Cool.
Will process the excellent data for most recent response regardless of the region and overwrite the data. That doesn't sound right for CloudWatch. Because it doesn't again differentiate data, and all of the EC2 are actually sending the logs to US West, so it has nothing to do with regions and stuff like that. So I'll take that out.
Yep, cool.
CloudWatch cannot receive data across regions. It actually can. So
So a little trick at the end there. So you're looking at number one for us today.
I guess so. Yeah. Fingers crossed, but it looks like right.
Mixed on the chat, and actually 50% of people went for number 4 that you have pointed out is completely wrong.
All right. We'll see how I go.
Nervous?
Yeah, a bit.
It's the flu. Well, blame it on our flu. Number 1 it is. All right, awesome. Let's move on to question number 3.
Right.
Moving from CloudWatch to CloudFormation. Our templates. Okay, a CloudFormation template requires an Amazon DynamoDB table to be provisioned, which an Amazon EC2 instance will utilize. Mm-hmm. Both should be provisioned with CloudFormation. How do you tell CloudFormation to create the DynamoDB table and wait for it to be completed before creating the EC2 instances that will need to connect to it?
Right.
Another long one.
Yeah.
Let's digest that.
That's right, yes. There's too many things there. So
there's a lot of things there.
Yeah, CloudFormation, obviously, it's a service that gets you to automate deployment of different services, and you can create stacks or templates that contains all of your resources there. So from the question, it seems that we need to have a DynamoDB table first before we're starting provisioning EC2 instance there. So I guess the best way to do that is to go to EC2 and actually add an attribute to say depend on DynamoDB. In this case, the EC2 won't be created until the DynamoDB table is created. But let's see what the options
well, I think
we
you've
have.
given away the answer actually
Did I?
in your last sentence.
Okay.
You'll see what I'm saying in a minute.
Right, okay, I didn't read the answers.
No,
but
it's
let's
good.
go
It's
ahead.
good because you drew the answer out before we even got to looking at the answers. So.
Yeah, I
Go
try
for
to
it.
think first, then get the answers before you confuse me with too many close.
I like a bit of a tip there, right?
Right?
Cool.
Hope it works. So create multiple stacks and scripts that waits for one stack to complete before. We don't really need to do that because you would expect within the same stack or template, you actually have the template that has EC2 and got different resources like DynamoDB. You don't need to have another template or another stack to be able to create two different resources, really. So I don't think it's number one.
Okay.
Add a depend on, yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Looks like what I was talking about. Attribute to the EC2 instance resource and provides a DynamoDB resource. So obviously it looks like this is the right answer. So what we do is we're going to add the depend on to the EC2 and say once that DynamoDB table, and you have to actually provide the name of that DynamoDB table, it will actually start then launching the EC2 instance.
Cool.
Add a user data script to the instance that pulls for the DynamoDB table. I don't think that's related to the question. So usually user data script will run once the user actually logs into the EC2. So we want to look into the creation first, which is mainly hardware. It's not up to the user yet, hasn't been created to talk about user scripts. The fourth option is order the resource in the template so that the EC2 instant resource. Yeah, so order will work, but the thing is, if the creation is quite fast, you might be creating the EC2 while the DynamoDB table is not there yet.
Yep.
So that could actually, the wait time might not be the right thing to do, and depend on attributes actually solves this problem for you. And the good thing is, you can add multiple resources within the depend on. It's not just one table. You can add multiple things.
Yep. Cool.
So I guess number one.
Before you even knew.
No, depend two. Sorry, apologize.
No,
I was confusing myself.
Awesome. All right, number two. We have just about everyone agreeing with you.
Ah,
Number
cool.
two.
Yeah.
Number two it is.
All right.
Flying
Sweet.
through, Rovan. Flying through. Question 4. Oh, we got a shorter one. Okay, good. This is great for me. Databases.
Running out of breath, so we'll give you some break.
What does Amazon Elasticache provide?
Right, so Amazon Elasticache. So this is one of the AWS services, obviously, that provide managed memcache and Redis. And usually you'd use that for applications that require high performance information, or retrieving information from the data very, very fast. So you'd need a very fast throughput or a large throughput that allow you to get this data, and usually you would need to save this information into a memcache or a memory store that has a high throughput for a performance.
Cool.
So
let's take a bit of a look
see
on our
what
options.
we have. So an EC2 instance was a large amount of memory and CPU.
I think we can strike through that one.
It has memory, that's for sure, and throughput is a key. So IOPS, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
A managed in-memory cache service looks like.
Once again,
yeah.
you give it away with your exact description.
Looks like cool.
And that is what we provide. Cool. Well, let's check. Number 3.
Yep. And Amazon EC2 instance with Redis and Memcache. That's close because
so we
actually
do
provide
support
Redis
these,
and Memcache, but not on EC2. A highly available and fast indexing server for search.
I mean, kind of. That is a description of what it does.
That's kind of, I guess.
But not what it provides. Back to the question.
That's true. It's too many that's so close. So I guess if I were to eliminate them a little bit, definitely it's not on EC2. So I'll take number 3 out. Number 4 is so close, but doesn't actually give it justice when it comes to the description and what we provide. So
cool.
I guess I will go to number 2.
You have been outvoted on the online poll. They actually 60% went for number 4, and I can see why. Like you said,
It's so close.
Yeah,
It's actually,
close.
it is right. It is
But if
right
we think about
answer.
the question, we're not being asked for a description, we're being asked for what it provides.
Yes.
And that's the differentiator,
Yes,
right?
yes, that's one of the things. But
Hopefully.
it's the
Should
right
we reveal
answer.
the answer?
If you just put the sentence next to number 2,
Yeah,
I guess, yeah.
Exactly. Phew.
Right.
All right, let's move on to question number 5. Storage. Ready?
Ready.
How do you resize an instance store-backed volume?
I haven't done it. I don't think you can do that. So an instance store backed volume, we obviously have EBS volumes now. Amazon have released EBS volume, which is persistent storage that anyone can launch it, attach an EBS volume there, store anything, and it will remain even if you stop or start the instance. The problem with instance store is once you stop and start it, it's actually the data will be gone. So it's very high in speed.
Yep.
But you do not persist the data there. I don't think you can resize it at all.
A lot of people
because
agree on the poll as well. They've gone straight to number 4.
Okay, I haven't actually read the but let's go ahead.
So
Stop the EC2 instance and use the modified volume. Yeah, once it stops, so any data there will be gone. I don't think you can resize it once you've created the EC2. Take a snapshot of the instance, stops it. Yeah, that's right away, no. Attach another instance volume, copy the data to a new volume, delete our volume. Yeah, that's not right either. So that's like if you have an EBS volume, you would do that, but not with instance store for sure.
Yep.
So I would say, it's not possible.
Said it straight away when you saw the question. Yeah. So and I did notice before the poll started to change that everyone had 100% on number 4. It has changed a bit now, so a few things to look at here, but mostly agreeing with number 4. Yeah. Let's check. Number 4 is.
So it's the way I learn actually this question because I'm preparing for the SysOps exam as well.
Oh, that's right. You're actually preparing for this very exam, right?
Yeah. So I go out and try things because I learn when I create stuff and play around with it. So yeah, I haven't seen any resize option, that's for sure.
Nice. And this will be your second?
That's my second one. Yeah, hopefully yes. Cool. Once I pass it.
Let's move on to question number 6. Load balancing.
Right.
All right. You just updated the port of the health check for an application load balancer. You go into the CloudWatch console, but you are not seeing the health check. What could possibly be the reason?
Right, okay. So application load balancer, obviously it's a load balancer from AWS and it's a layer 7 content based load balancer. So if you configured health check for an application load balancer, you usually actually would go and see it straight away in CloudWatch. I wonder why you can't. You should be. Let's have a look onto the options. So the CloudWatch console does not display information on the number of healthy hosts. That's not right. Actually, CloudWatch will display the metric on all of the hosts regardless.
Cool. So we can cross out number 1.
Yeah, definitely out. You find this information in Amazon EC2 Management Console? Not really. So CloudWatch is the monitoring service that we use, and all of the metrics actually get sent to CloudWatch. So EC2 is out of the equation here. You should review your security groups for, traffic allowed. Yes, that looks like... Yes. Here is an answer. That looks like right. So I guess because it has a default port, if you actually change the port, you gotta make sure that the security group allows the network or allows the traffic to go through that port. That sounds like very
so
right.
The ALB is like a user in this instance that we need to give access to.
Yeah. So you need to restart the application load balancer. No, not really. No, you can't restart it.
So locking in number 3?
Yeah, it looks like the most suitable answer.
Almost online. We got 83% agreeing with you. Number 3.
Great.
Number 3 it is. 100% so far.
Sweet.
Nerves calming down yet?
Yeah, I know. I'll go to sit for the exam now.
You're ready. All right, question number 7. Amazon EC2. You have an EC2 instance running in one AWS region that you want to be able to run in another AWS region.
Right.
What do you need to do to accomplish this?
Okay. So obviously you have an EC2 instance running in one region, which we have multiple of them. Let's say if we have it in Sydney region and we're trying to run it in Tokyo region maybe, how are we going to do that? I guess we have to copy it somehow to the other region to be able to see it actually in the second region, which is in this case could be Tokyo or anything else. So let's go through the question. So you can copy an AMI from one region to another, but only if they are under the same AWS. No, you can actually copy across accounts as well. It wasn't the case before, but that's a feature that got added in the last couple of months, so you can actually do that. You cannot copy an AMI across region because that's not true straight away. You can actually copy.
Great.
It's the same. So I guess the key thing about this answer is because you cannot have two AMIs with the same ID, but once you copy it, it's actually create a completely different ID. So that's out of our equation as well. So you can copy AMIs across regions using copy image API. I guess that sounds like the right answer here. And you can do it obviously through the API or even through the console. So you log into the console, Sydney region, go to the wizard, copy AMI, and then go to Tokyo, for example, and you'll
100%. Oh, it's actually just dropped down. It just dropped down to 75% agreeing with you on number 3.
Yeah, we seem to agree to disagree here, but I think it looks like number 3 for me.
Okay.
Then the fourth one, let's have a look. You can copy AMI across regions using the copy AMI. Okay, that looks good.
Yep.
But you need first to remove the launch permissions and user-defined tags. You don't actually need to do that at all. So you can straight away copy it, and it will keep all of the tags and everything. You don't really need to do that. Yeah.
Fantastic. So locking in number 3.
I guess the confusion, I haven't seen the poll, but I think the confusion would be number 1 because that wasn't available before
Previously,
that feature came out. Yes.
It was actually between 3 and 4.
All right. Okay.
All right, let's reveal the answer. Number 3, it was.
Right. Okay.
All right. Last question of the day, Rowan. You're almost through.
Security.
Security.
Most important thing.
Here we go. A workload consisting of Amazon EC2 instances is placed in an Amazon VPC. What feature of VPC can be used to deny network traffic based on IP source address and port number?
Yeah. What feature of VPC can be used to deny network? Okay, traffic base. So that's straight away network access controls or NACLs. If we have a look into the options there, subnets. So you actually use subnets to divide the VPC network. So VPC is a virtual private cloud. Yep. So you kind of assign a network CIDR there, IP address, and then if you want to subnet it or cut it into smaller chunks, you would use the subnets to subnet it. So that's not the right answer. Security groups is actually a firewall on the EC2 instance. So you can specify what goes out and in from EC2 through security groups, but you cannot attach security groups to the VPC. Route tables. So route tables, you use them and you put ports there and IP address as well. It's tricky, but you use them actually to route traffic. So you say, I'm happy for, let's say if the destination is 000, I'm okay to go to my network provider, service provider, or go to DNS or go to whatever. So routing table is not routing. So network access control definitely would be the answer in this case, where you define the port and the IP address and allowing them.
Simple one for you.
Yeah, that's cool. that's an easy one. I think we should get 100% here.
Well, we
Fingers
didn't.
crossed. Oh, we did not.
I don't think we got 100% for any of the questions today.
I hope I'm not confusing you guys. But
no,
yeah.
I think we're good. Knuckles. It
Knuckles,
is.
okay, cool.
All right, so what I might get you to end with today, if that's all right, Robin, is your exam tip of the week.
My exam tip of the week. I like always to actually practice things. I learn when I do stuff. I don't forget it easy. So
as in hands-on?
Hands-on.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I usually would read and then go and try to deploy what I've just read and play around with it. So there was one of the questions that I actually didn't know the answer to, but because I've never seen any change or any resize for the instance or so, that's not it.
Yep.
That's out, yeah.
Cool. So hands-on experience, actually go and have a play yourself.
And practice, absolutely, yep.
Robin,
practice questions.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely zoomed through them, so 100%. Well done. I know you were a bit nervous. Everyone, thank you for joining us online today. We will see you next week for another round of the SysOps exam. Thank you.